Every move Bitcoin makes now could rewrite the next chapter of crypto history, and the world is watching. Bitcoin's next move could set the pace for the entire crypto market, tipping the balance between fear and opportunity. The next few weeks could decide whether Bitcoin leads the next financial revolution or faces another test of strength. You can place it right before the final "This is Crypto on-chain" outro for maximum impact. Welcome back to Crypto On-Chain, the channel where we break down the biggest moves in the world of digital assets. And today we're talking about the king of crypto itself, Bitcoin. Even as Ethereum and altcoins capture short-term hype, Bitcoin continues to dominate the market, shaping sentiment, attracting institutional capital, and trading around that. Critical $108,000 mark. With so much attention focused on whether Bitcoin will hold above 100,000 or dip lower, the stakes have never been higher. But there's more to this story than just price action. Behind the charts, Bitcoin is evolving through regulation, institutional adoption, mining activity, and real-world use cases. So let's dive deep into everything shaping Bitcoin's journey right now. Market overview, testing critical levels. Bitcoin recently slipped below 108,000, and traders are wondering, is this just a healthy pullback or the start of a deeper correction? The $100,000 level has become more than just a round number. It's a psychological battleground. If it breaks decisively, we could see cascading liquidations that test investor confidence. Meanwhile, altcoins are benefiting from this moment. Ethereum, along with a few high-performing Layer 2s and DeFi tokens, are capturing more short-term capital inflows, but even as attention shifts temporarily, Bitcoin remains the gravitational center of the market. The clearest evidence? Spot Bitcoin. ETFs, these products are now seeing up to $10 billion in daily trading volume. That kind of activity puts Bitcoin on the same level as some of the world's most liquid stocks and commodities. It's not just crypto traders anymore. Wall Street is here. Hedge funds are here, and traditional investors are here. Institutional adoption, from fringe to foundation. Not too long ago, Bitcoin was seen as too volatile, too risky, too fringe for serious portfolios. But today, the narrative has flipped. BlackRock, the largest asset manager on the planet, has not only launched Bitcoin ETFs, but is actively recommending Bitcoin as part of diversified portfolios. Other major institutions have followed suit. Why does this matter? Because institutional adoption changes the way markets behave. Instead of being dominated by retail hype cycles, Bitcoin is now influenced by pension funds, asset managers, and treasury allocations. This creates deeper liquidity, but it also means regulation, sustainability, and compliance are no longer optional. They're required, and this brings us to the next big piece of the puzzle. Regulation and legal clarity. Regulators are paying close attention to crypto, and Bitcoin is at the heart of these conversations. Concerns over mining emissions are forcing companies to transition toward renewable energy solutions. In many ways, Bitcoin mining is becoming a testbed for clean energy innovation, from hydropower in Latin America to flare gas capture in Texas oil fields. At the same time, broader legal clarity is forming. The closure of Ripple's multi-year lawsuit sent a powerful message to the industry. While regulatory battles can be long and painful, they eventually provide much-needed clarity. For Bitcoin, clarity around ETFs and investment products has already unlocked massive institutional demand. The big question now is whether regulators worldwide will harmonize their rules or continue to create fragmented frameworks. Either way, Bitcoin is now too large to ignore. Mining, selling pressure, or strategic play? One of the most talked about developments in recent weeks has been miner activity. Collectively, Bitcoin miners sold around $485 million worth of BTC. At first glance, that raised fears of selling pressure and market weakness. But when you look closer, much of this appears to be routine profit-taking, covering operational expenses and securing balance sheets. Here's the interesting part. Even as some miners sell, new institutional-grade miners and financial firms are entering the space. A major Dutch company, for example, has set a goal of accumulating 1% of Bitcoin's total supply to serve as a treasury reserve asset through regulated markets. Think about that for a second. Bitcoin is no longer just something miners produce and retail investors trade. It's being positioned as a strategic reserve asset, similar to gold but faster, more transparent, and digitally native. Bitcoin's broader impact. Beyond price. But to truly understand Bitcoin, you have to look beyond the charts. Price tells part of the story, but Bitcoin's real impact is happening on the ground. In countries with weak currencies or limited banking access, Bitcoin is more than just an investment. It's a lifeline. People are using it to protect their savings against inflation, to send money across borders without middlemen, and to build financial independence in places where traditional systems have failed. Bitcoin has also sparked a wave of innovation. Developers around the world are creating tools for cross-border payments, decentralized finance applications, and even social platforms that integrate Bitcoin as native money. Each new application brings more utility, more resilience, and more community adoption. And let's not forget the culture. Bitcoin has created one of the most passionate global communities in financial history. From developers and entrepreneurs to everyday holders, Bitcoin is more than a network. It's a movement. What comes next? So where do we go from here? In the short term, all eyes are on the $100,000 support level. If it holds, Bitcoin could consolidate before making another push upward. If it breaks, we may see an extended rotation into Ethereum and altcoins before Bitcoin reclaims dominance. In the medium to long term, the story remains unchanged. Institutions are buying, ETFs are driving billions in daily volume, miners are adapting, and adoption is spreading worldwide. Bitcoin is no longer just an experiment in digital money, it's becoming a foundational layer of the global financial system. And the decisions being made today, by regulators, by miners, by institutions, will shape how Bitcoin evolves in the decade ahead. Final thoughts, BTC next move? Bitcoin is standing at a critical crossroads. It's testing key price levels, facing growing regulatory oversight, and simultaneously being embraced by some of the largest financial players on Earth. Yes, volatility will continue. Yes, altcoins will have their moments in the spotlight. But make no mistake, Bitcoin remains the anchor of the digital asset market. The only question is, will Bitcoin lead the next leg of the bull cycle, or will the market need one more shakeout before the next breakout? Let me know what you think. In the comments, is Bitcoin on the verge of breaking new all-time highs, or are we heading for one more dip? This is Crypto On-Chain, keeping you updated with the deepest insights and the biggest stories in crypto. Stay tuned because Bitcoin's journey is only just beginning. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.